Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I'm Adam Banks. Thank you for listening. In the studio with me, I have Nellie. Nellie, how are you?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Nellie, I'm so excited.
I am too, Adam.
Yeah, I've been anticipating this interview for like a week now, and it's driving me crazy. My nerves are shot. They really are.
Yeah, mine too.
But ladies and gentlemen, on the show, I'm very happy with our next guest. He is a sportscaster. He works for WKYT as a senior marketing consultant covering NCAA on WKYT. He's also on UK Radio Network, the SEC Network, Fox Sports South, and ESPN3, just to name a few. He's probably one of the most recognizable voices in all of the Bluegrass. Mr. Dave Buzz Baker is on the program. Dave, thank you for calling me and being with us via the telephone. How you doing?
Guys, everything's great. It's great to be with you, and I'm glad we could take a few minutes and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about.
Absolutely, man. And I want to talk a little bit about, of course, the passion of the University of Kentucky basketball program that us fans have. But Dave, you also work for the SEC Network, so you travel around a lot, and you've been to probably almost every SEC venue out there. Is that safe to say?
Yes, absolutely.
And what is the, of all the venues that you've been in, what venue has the best atmosphere?
Well, I would say the first thing is that everybody has kind of got their signature thing. Now, that doesn't mean that's what they're trying to do, but it's just got a different feel to it.
Right.
For Kentucky, the crowds are great at Commonwealth Stadium, especially at night, but it's just drastically different than it is at Rupp Arena for a big game. For Alabama or Auburn, you get that sense when it's a huge football game. Same deal at Texas A&M. I mean, for people that have never been to College Station, and I go back to College Station tomorrow night, it is. I didn't understand it before A&M got into the league, but they really did not like Texas. Still don't. Right. And it's like, wow, why do they hate Texas so bad? And it's like, once you go there, you get it, because they don't feel like they have to take a back seat to anybody in terms of facilities or programs or things like that. You go to Mississippi State, I mean, unbelievable place to watch a baseball game because of what goes on there. So everybody's kind of got their own thing and their own feel. And I always tell people that if you're a true fan, a true SEC fan, I encourage people to try to go, whatever their sport is, go and see two teams play at another SEC school where your team isn't playing. And in that way you can just kind of rubberneck around and soak it all up and really experience everything without having a root and interest in the deal.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's a great point. Hey, transitioning into Coach John Calipari, he took the job here in Lexington back in 2009. And ever since he came into Lexington, we as Kentucky fans, and Buzz, including yourself, we've just been on this tremendous high, I guess you could say, or this unbelievable run. How long do you think we're going to be able to keep Coach Cal in Lexington with us?
But what else is he going to do? He doesn't play golf. I mean, he likes to talk. There's not enough money in this media business for him. I've said before, the only thing that would ever get him to turn his head would be if LeBron James were to come and say, listen, I've only got so many years. I want you to help me get across the finish line. And now the way they're playing under Dave Blatt, I think that's best news Kentucky fans could have ever gotten. But, this is the kind of job at the kind of place that he's always dreamed of. And I mean, seriously, Cal's, a couple of years old. He's 56 now, I think. So, at his age, do you want to be able to have the kind of impact that you do on young men and on a state and on a sport that you do here, coaching 40 games? Or do you want to go get caught up in that darn thing in the NBA where you're coaching 80-plus games and, you can be the best coach in the world, but if you don't have the best lineup, it ain't going to happen for you.
Absolutely.
I think Coach Cal, hi Dave, it's Nellie.
Hey Nellie, how you doing?
I'm great. I think that Coach Cal is also such a role model for these young people and for people, adults as well.
Yeah, he's such an ambassador for our
yes.
state. Yeah,
I love the things he does with the players, and
yeah,
it's just amazing. The day they went and washed those children's feet.
Yeah, it was good stuff. The job came open, Dave, back in 2007 when Tubby Smith left Lexington. He left the program, and the job was open in 2007. Coach Cal expressed interest in the Kentucky job before they made the Billy Gillespie hire. What do you think, in your humble opinion, why don't you think Mitch Barnhart contacted Coach Cal back in 2007 when he was, I guess, in some ways probably waiting by the phone for that phone call?
Well, there are probably a lot of different factors into it. I think what happens in coaching now, and when we write the book at the end of the day, there'll probably be a chapter devoted to this. But I think everybody, looks for that hot guy. It seems like every year there's a hot guy that's out there.
Right.
And if you're Mitch Barnhart, that year it was Billy Gillespie. He had come here to Rupp Arena and beaten Louisville with his A&M team. Tubby Smith is an incredible guy as well. There was some grumbling about the fact that he was not able to haul in the caliber of recruits that they're getting now. He was doing a great job in coaching up the guys he had, but there had been some discussion inside and outside of the program that if you had a coach who didn't have as much stuff going on as Tubby, then maybe you'd be able to get those guys. And the MO on Billy was that he didn't have anything going on in his life except for basketball. And we all know how that thing ended. And, you've got to credit the folks for fixing it the way that they did. And, it's kind of like Rich Brooks said at his introductory news conference, I don't know that was the first choice, the second choice, fourth choice, doesn't make any difference. That was the right choice. And I think that John Calipari was certainly the right choice at the right time for this program.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. Compared to other eras that you've seen this program take, you've been in during the Eddie Sutton era, the Rick Pitino era, Tubby Smith. What era in UK basketball history do you think is the best that you've seen? Is it the one that we're presently in right now?
Well, it's very different now. It's very different. I think everybody loves a comeback story, and at least since I have been here, there have been two incredible comeback stories. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Joe Hall never gets the credit that he deserves.
Right, I agree.
And he's gotten more of it as time has gone on. But look at what North Carolina is. We are here the day after Dean Smith's passing, but look at what they went through after Coach Smith stepped down.
Yeah.
Look at everybody that tried to succeed at UCLA after Coach Wooden retired, and for Joe B to do what he did and to do it in the manner that he did. He's starting to get that credit, but he certainly didn't initially, and unfortunately, he got a lot of criticism. Obviously, when Rick came in here, the program was absolutely down and out, on probation. He couldn't get anybody to come here. He took that ragtag bunch and convinced Mashburn to come here, and you get in 3 straight Final Fours, and you recruit basically a class that gives you 2 championships and is an overtime away from 3 straight. I mean, that was something else. But by the same token, not only what Cal has done, but the way he's been able to do it. Some people didn't like the fact that he was, Mr. Carnival Barker out there, but he got these guys to believe, and the MO is that coaches like that they coddle these kids and baby them and let them come in and do whatever they want. I mean, Cal coaches these guys hard, and they take that coaching, and that's because it never gets personal between the coach and players. Now, they may bark back and forth a little bit, but I've never seen it get personal. And the other night was a great case in point against Florida. Andrew Harrison did not hustle and get a 50-50 ball that Cal thought he should have got. Called a 30-second timeout. You could see him in the huddle, and he was really chewing on him. What happens? Very next play. Turnover. Harrison gets the basketball, throws that pass to Willie Cauley-Stein for that dunk, and it's the play that got Kentucky the momentum and put them over the top.
Oh, what a dunk that was.
That was amazing.
That was unbelievable. I was so hyped after that dunk. I was so excited. that was some good stuff. Just to give a little shift, Dave, I wanted to talk about what was going on up in Louisville. It's made some headlines about the Mac Coburn. He was a commit to the University of Louisville's football program, and he committed back in September. And now they have decided to gray shirt Mr. Coburn. So the U of L the coach at U of L, the football coach, he's been getting a lot of heat over that. What do you know anything about what's going on back there in Louisville?
Well, I think you've got to look at every one of those situations independently, and it's very difficult to do when you look at the things that have happened with Bobby Petrino. That being said, Bobby Petrino is a heck of a football coach. I mean, he can dial it up from an offensive coordinator standpoint now. He can still flat do it. And obviously he's had some challenges that he's spoken about. And I think he's genuinely, tried to turn over the proverbial new leaf. Now, that being said, and people get all kinds of hung up on this, and I think especially Kentucky fans like to poke Louisville as well. But let's say, for instance, and I'll use my alma mater, let's say this kid had committed to Georgetown College, and all of a sudden he has a tremendous senior year, and Louisville comes in and wants to sign him. If that kid then decides to go to Louisville, nobody's slamming the kid.
Right.
And if it was our kid, we'd probably tell him to do the same thing. Now my understanding was that they did not take the scholarship away. They just said they were going to gray shirt him, and that still sends a message regardless. And I get all that. It goes on everywhere. It's something that you wish didn't happen. It's probably looks worse than what it is because of Bobby's recent and past history.
Yeah.
So while I don't know that the criticism is all that warranted, it's certainly fair in light of his body of work.
Absolutely, yes. That's a good point. Well, Dave, I've got one more question for you, and then I'm going to let you. I'm going to get out of your hair, and I'll let you go. Dave Baker, you also go by Buzz. Where did the name Buzz come from?
You know, there are. I guess if you ask Brian Williams, you'd get one story on where it came from. But there are many reincarnations of where it came from, and I wish there was some lavish rock and roll lifestyle sort of story to tell you, but there's really not. I mean, I started interning at WKYT. I want to say it was back in 79 or 80, maybe it was 81, but I graduated from Georgetown in 82 and started the station shortly thereafter. And back then we were, banging out scripts on those old typewriters, and you had to make sure that indentation went through like 6 different pages of script paper. Yeah. So to this day, I'm one of the loudest computer typers probably in the state, but we're up there getting a script ready for air one night, and I'm just banging away, and we're running around the office, and I have a tendency to be kind of hyper, and Bromley says, in his Bromley voice, he says, "You need a nickname." And he's typing away, he says, "Buzz, we'll call you Buzz." And it was shortly thereafter we were at a UK basketball practice, and we were sitting there talking beforehand, and Cawood picks up on this, and so he starts calling me that, and then it just kind of took off. I wish there was some other grandiose story, but I promise you that's it.
That is so awesome. What a way to get a nickname though, Rob Bromley. We were just talking about him, Nellie.
I know, and I want to compliment Dave for talking about Coach Hall. He went to school with my mom, and in Cynthiana. I'm from Cynthiana, so
right.
Yeah, and he's such a kind man, just a gentleman at all times, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. He did not get the recognition he deserved.
Yeah, Coach Hall.
But I appreciate you bringing that up.
Coach Hall was definitely a big.
Oh, no, still to this day. I mean, he's a wonderful ambassador for the program. I have found that that there are two kinds of ex-coaches out there. There are ex-coaches that are just happy for and thankful for every moment they ever had, for every victory they had, for every great moment they had with their team.
Mm-hmm.
They can laugh about the good times and the bad times. And then there are these coaches that you run into, and it's not just a collegiate level, it's all different levels. Like, look at that guy. If I had the money he had, or if I had the support from my administration that he's got from his, I'd have won 500 games. And Joe Hall has never been that coach. Joe Hall has always been the guy who will take every picture, who will sign every autograph, who will do any sort of interview. And he is just a real treasure.
That's awesome.
I remember he would always stop and speak to my mother. I mean, just, like he was her neighbor. So
that's awesome. Joby
Hall, just awesome.
He's definitely just a big part of this program. Well, Buzz, I really want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I've thoroughly enjoyed this interview. That you have seriously, you're the biggest guest to date that's come on the podcast.
You're our highlight. We were so excited.
Yeah.
Well, you need to raise the bar higher.
We don't think so.
Well,
we love you.
We're looking.
You don't want to stagnate here, believe me.
Hey, we're looking for Coach Cal next. Why not?
How are the twins? Can I ask how your girls are? I remember when you brought them on TV and showed them when they were babies, when you got them.
Oh, my God, babies.
Yes.
We didn't have TV back then, did we?
Now, don't be giving my age away.
if I sound a little tired, it's because I have been with them all weekend at the National Cheerleading Championships in Orlando. And they all three cheer up at Dunbar, and I took the fabulous 5 a.m. flight out of Orlando to get some work done today, and they are getting back in just a little while. So they will be right after. There will be not anybody that's happy. Everybody will be tired. They're wonderful kids though.
They were so cute. They were just so cute, and I remember that day and how happy you were.
Yeah, boy, if only they listened like that. I had one of the twins that broke her nose last week, so she competed this weekend with a broken nose and getting that operated on tomorrow. And so, and now the oldest is old enough where I'm doing a game at Ole Miss this weekend, and everybody thinks you got this lavish rock and roll lifestyle on the road. Oh, girl in every town in the SEC. Yeah, the girl this weekend is going to be my daughter, who's on a visit down to Ole Miss with one of her friends.
Oh, well, that'll be good, though.
Daddy daycare.
No, that's awesome, Dave. I mean, I really do. Like, you do have a rock and roll lifestyle.
I think it's amazing that you get to spend that time with your girls.
Yeah.
And as busy as you are, they're so important. Your family has always been so important to you.
And get to travel around
Love
like that. That's awesome. Like, I would have your lifestyle, Dave Baker.
You're admired, Dave. You're admired.
I'm very blessed, but sometimes I travel now. Some of the places in the SEC. I mean, it's like I got the 2:30 a.m. wake up call this morning, so I could get back to the office, and I'll be in the office till about 2 tomorrow, and I've got a 3 o'clock flight, and you fly in. There's not too many good ways to get into College Station, so you fly into Houston and you drive about an hour and a half, and then to get back in the office on Thursday, you'll take the 5 a.m. flight out of Houston, and then you'll put in some time Thursday and Friday, and then late Friday afternoon you'll fly to Memphis, and then it's about an hour 15 drive to beautiful Oxford, Mississippi.
Yes.
And then turn around and do it all again on Sunday.
God bless your heart.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I'm really blessed. Sometimes during basketball season it gets to be just a little much, but there are great friends that I have made over the years that I work with at the broadcast table and in these different towns, and so it's neat. I couldn't do it. Some of my, like my buddy Dave Neal does 75 events.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know how he does it. I mean, now you think about it. Most of the events, you're talking football and baseball and stuff. Most of those are on the weekends. Okay,
right.
so I mean, he doesn't have too many free weekends during the course of the year, and I'm fortunate that I've kind of, gotten my base of operations there at WKYT, and they allow me to do some of this stuff, and I'm just a very blessed guy.
No, that's awesome stuff. Dave, if I see you at the UK game now I have a reason to come up and introduce myself. I'm going to come up and say, Dave, I'm Adam Banks.
Well, you or Nellie or anybody else don't need a reason. Just come on up and say, hey.
I see. I feel that way about you. I feel like I could.
Yeah. So the last time I seen you, it was at Coach Cal's talk show that he does after the game, his radio post-game show.
Right.
Yeah, I saw you. You said something to the crowd. You was being silly. I don't know what you were saying, but you were saying something. But I meant to.
That was probably the night that my 10-year-old decided he'd take a selfie with he and Dakari, and I'm like, oh my gosh, pal, can you just get out of here before you get us kicked out?
That is good stuff. That is good stuff, I swear. All right, well, Dave, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you again so much.
Great talking with you.
All right, Dave. Dave Baker,
Have a
everybody.
safe trip.
Have a safe trip.
All right, guys, really enjoyed it. Anytime you need anything, you feel free to call me, okay?
Thanks, Dave.
All right, take care. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Dave Baker, ladies and gentlemen, on the show. Nellie, what did you think of the interview?
Oh, I thought it was fun.
Wasn't it fun?
He's very enjoyable. He's so knowledgeable.
Very well spoken, very
Yes.
articulate. He's
And then fun.
he's fun. He's fun. And now
I can see why he gets gotten to where he is.
because his personality has just taken
yeah.
him so. I mean, he is just a good guy.
And did he love talking about his kids, didn't he?
Yeah, and he said, Adam, he said, you or Nellie, did you hear him?
Yeah. They were tired. We'll have to go together one time. That will be fun.
We're going to have to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Adam Banks and Nellie with Off the Cuff. I want to thank you for listening. Dave Baker, special thanks to you for doing the show. Kentucky basketball tips off tomorrow at 7 o'clock against LSU Tigers at LSU. Make sure you tune into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Adam Banks, Nellie with Off the Cuff. We will see you in the next episode. And our producer is sucking right now because our music's not up. And our biggest show of the year has been screwed up because our producer doesn't know how to turn on music. All right, we'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next episode.